We are live. It is Saturday. Gotta remember what day it is. Can't fucking move because of LKG and James. We're drinking some. I'll show you what it is in a minute before I fuck it up. Aldi, cloudy Sicilian lime cider. Mrs. bought it me today. Treated me. Treat yourself. Why treat yourself when someone else will treat you? So thank you all for joining. Who we got in the chat? We got Gez, we got Chili, Gernaldinho, Gashead Steve, Dad and Lad Marcus, Bahaha, Bill in the UK, that guy in the corner. Hello to everyone. Thank you all for joining me. It's going to be a little bit different, not completely different, but he doesn't want me to say that it's like this is your life, so I won't say that. It's a walk down memory lane because the guest we've got on this evening, he's been here a long time. When I say here, not here because he's never been here. I don't ever fucking want him here. But he has been on YouTube a long time, nearly 10 years, coming this August. So I'll bring him in so he can all talk to him. I can see he's got a beer in his mouth, so I'll give him a second to put it down. Good evening.
Evening. How are we all?
I'm good. How are you, Stu? Oh, Fob's here, old Rob.
Now,
he normally just lurks, doesn't he? Creepy lurker in the corner.
He is, yeah. Cock Rocket Russ.
So you, Stewie, are you a bit cheery since the last time everyone's seen you? Because you was a bit of a miserable fucker in your last video, weren't you?
I'm getting old. I'm a miserable fucker. Honestly, it's an age thing.
Well, I'm younger than you, and I'm a miserable fucker. So what's?
Yeah, but that's genetics for you,
mate. If you'd have met my mom, there's not fucking too far from the truth. That ain't.
Alan, is it too? I don't know. Actually, I might switch over halfway through. I did watch, Alan. I did watch.
Have you had a couple of messages today?
No, I've had. I've had none. Thank God.
Question.
Thank God.
Right, I'm going to put my little banner up as well because I ain't having this bullshit where they don't listen to Dana's rules. Where is he? That's it.
Russ, you okay, hon?
For anyone who doesn't know,
I'll inbox you. It's me and the kids from now on. The rest of them will fuck off. That's brilliant. Poor Lee. Poor Lee's clueless.
Fucking them pair. I'm in a WhatsApp group with them pair of idiots, and it's fucking constant all day. I feel like more like I'm a referee than fucking I'm there to contribute. I'm much like I am in every WhatsApp group. I'm just there to throw in a sarcastic comment and stir it up every now and then.
I don't believe that, Dana.
You do. So anyway, for those of you who don't know, this is Stuart and TootyUK, not two separate people.
I'm one of the same. Sadly, yes, I am one of the same.
He's probably getting close to being enough to be two people.
Yeah.
Because when was it? You answered a question from Woodlin. Fucking let's me notes back about 7 years ago, and you said
away.
You're an up and about kind of person on a weekend, so that's not much fucking true at the moment, I'm guessing.
Well, no one's up and about, are they? Well, they shouldn't be anyway.
Fucking Liam is. Have you seen him keep picking up stuff, the bastard?
Yeah, he's doing all right.
He keeps messaging me, asking if I've seen this. I'm like, yeah, you've just fucking posted it. You've given me no heads up.
Cheeky.
I wish I'd never shown him Spock. That was a fucking mistake. Done me out of thousands, that has. Could have retired by now. So anyway, Stu, I've done some research on you. Anyway, 3.1k subs. It says you've done 582 videos, but somewhere it says you've done 610. So I don't know. Which is
okay. So, let me stop you on that. Because there are some that are unlisted.
Oh,
there are some that have been delisted or like blocked or banned. Because it is weird you said that because I can't remember what happened. Someone messaged me and I had a look today. And a lot of the sort of older stuff had been sort of like, you know, you can't like the copyright strikes. Look, put out to anybody now. Anybody gets a copyright strike, it is not a bad thing. It just means that someone else wants to put ads on your video because you've used movies, music, or whatever. Fuck it. I've got about 90 of the bastard things. Don't worry about that. But there are a couple that have been blocked. and it's usually Nintendo that block it worldwide. So there's a few that are sort of like went and just like trim the shit out. I didn't even look at the video. I said, yeah, trim it out. I don't care. But then when I was going through it, there are some like, and you're not going to believe this, but there are some gameplay videos that I've never released from like 2014. So I might release them. So if you do see somewhere from me, I might just release. I don't know. Does people want to see them? The PC Engine stuff. So it was back, I say 2014 when I probably got the Duo R. But yeah, they're a bit cringe and they're not great. But yeah,
because you told me about my videos being adult verified and you couldn't watch them. I went through yesterday.
Do not put adult verification on your videos. Big game out. I can't watch your second from last video because it's adult verification, and there's no way I'm sending Google my passport or my bank account details. You can forget it.
Is that what you've got to do now? I never had to do that. See, back in the day, I never had to do any of that bullshit. But anyway, I went through all my videos and I've got one where it's got a copyright strike, and it's all fucking Japanese writing. So I'm guessing it might be Nintendo in Japanese, because it was when I played Salamander on one of my early videos when I was doing gameplay videos, and it said you can either leave it and they'll put in ads, or you can cut out from this minute to that minute. And when I looked, it meant that basically you could have watched my intro and my outro.
Between was I mean Nintendo. The bastards. Yeah. Nintendo are bastards for it. The worst ones, man.
Big Game Al wants you to sing It's Friday Then, but it's not really fitting being as it's Saturday, you thick fucker.
Saturday, Al.
Maybe yesterday. Question from Russ for Tooty. Is Daz okay? Noticed he's selling his Saturn stuff. Noticed Sega Saturn lads buying it all.
What?
Oh, I forget you're not in the big WhatsApp group, so Daz is selling his Saturn stick and everything. Because Russ obviously stalks him on fucking...
It's a stalker. I could gather that Russ is a stalker. So Daz is selling up again?
Saturn's going. Saturn stuff's going.
Well, that's all he's got, isn't it?
Well, I noticed last week they released the new lineup, retro game of Daz of the one-up cabs.
Oh, no.
Is it going to be one vicious cycle? Like
pinball up?
Okay.
No, we can't be doing that again. No.
I don't know. I just know because Rush shared it in the big group. So anyway, that averages those videos that you make 3 videos a month. So that must mean you were doing a lot of content back in the day, because you're not doing 3 videos a month now.
No, got bored of it now. It's all shit now, isn't it?
And you average, see this, I'm giving you stats here that I know you don't even know because you don't look it up. You get 165 views per day, you do.
Is that all?
That's quite good. I fucking don't get that on a video unless I put someone interested in it. What else have we got? Yeah, this one, you'll enjoy this one, yeah. There was a thread on Reddit 5 years ago when people were asking for good YouTubers to watch on Reddit. Everyone was mentioning like the gaming historian, fucking hell, angry video game nerd. And one guy by the name of robot_swagger said, I like TootyUK. He's always reviewing old games I've never heard of. And I thought, does this fucker actually watched? But then actually... Right, but then actually I went back, and this will bring me on to something. You used to do a series called First Impressions when you used to actually play games, didn't you?
Yeah, that's the videos I'm on about.
Some of them are still up because I've been looking at them today.
Yeah, they are. I've got more. I've got other ones I haven't released. That's what I was on about. I should do more then, and that's it.
Question for Tooty. When's he buying an e-bike? He keeps stalking me.
Yeah, I'm interested because I couldn't understand what Russ's bike thing was on about, because he kept on about electric bike, and I thought he's one of these ones where you don't pedal. It's like a scooter, so I couldn't really get my head around the whole concept of it. But
like a push pedal pop,
huh?
Like a push pedal pop when you were a kid, like.
Yeah, but I couldn't get my head around what he was sort of saying. So I'm like, do you not pedal at all then? What's the point of it? It's not a bike then, is it? It's a scooter, and it's like. And he explained it's like power assisted.
Yeah.
Obviously, because when he has to go up hills, you know, and whatever, he's struggling a little bit. So he's a bit of.
What I want to know is where he puts his little, you know, them fold up stools. He's got one of them that he has to get on the bike. So I want to know where he puts that when he's fucking riding it, to be honest.
I think that's why he's always with somebody else to give him a boost up onto the saddle.
So anyway, we'll start at the beginning of your YouTube journey. Your first video was on the 11th of August, 2011, and it was exactly 43 seconds long, and it was just called Retro Gaming, an intro or something like that. I've watched it. It's the best 43 seconds I've ever watched on your channel.
It's the best video I've ever made. That's it. Forget about it. Just delete the rest of them.
But it is quite interesting because the one thing I noticed going through all your videos, you've done a lot of fucking trades with people. So is that kind of what you used YouTube as, like, to start with, like a forum sort of thing to meet people and stuff like that?
See, look, this is part of my old man moany gripey shit with the whole platform. Back in the day, you could message people, you could talk to people within, and you could tag people, and it was almost like a mini Facebook. It's not that anymore. So it was far easier to interact and sort of build relationships and get to know people, do trades, blah. That's all gone. To do anything like that now, you have to go outside of the tool set. You have to go outside of YouTube to do any of that. And for some people, that's difficult. I don't have Twitter or whatever. I only have Facebook. Some people don't do Facebook. I don't do Twitter. You get what I mean?
Hold on. You didn't deny then that you don't have Instagram?
Well, I don't know. Or like any of the other shit. But that's yeah. So back in, like I say, back then, it was a lot easier to sort of interact with people and do stuff like that.
See, I noticed when you click on anyone's older videos, funnily enough, I was watching Raz eat a fucking pizza on one of his old videos. It popped up. In fact, it was the only video I found interesting that Raz has ever done. But it's almost like the comments are all broke up. You can't see people's replies to each other. They're like scattered, whereas now, if I reply to you, it's in its own thread. Whereas on old videos, it's each individual reply and it gets lost in the shuffle.
I don't know if that's because they've changed, maybe because the old ones weren't in the new format, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's purely something that's happened with the algorithm of the chat.
Yeah, and they've changed it all around, yeah.
Yeah. If you do want to ask a serious question, please make sure you put it in the caps and I will try and notice them all. So the first video you did, other than a pickups video, was actually going to play Manchester on the 13th and the 14th of October, 2012. And you started your train journey with, I had to watch the video all the way through to find out who the other guy was because you don't introduce him at all until like halfway through. And it's John who you talk about all the time, I'm guessing. So do you remember that?
Yeah, my mate John, yeah.
I'm going to really send you down memory lane now because at the end of that video, you did a list of all YouTubers you met at that very first event. So
I can't remember them.
I'm going to tell you them now and you can say whether fucking they're still go. A lot of them are going.
Cool, yeah. I'll say if they're still. Are they still
so you've got Rich King Retro.
He's still alive.
He's still alive. I think he's Chicken Man. Minx has got fucking hair.
Minx is still alive, just.
I'm sure Retro Godfather's there, but did he used to be called Scratchmaster Doll or something back then?
Scratchmaster Doll, that's original.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
So he's there. Sean's there.
Yeah.
There's someone called One MSX to Go.
Yeah, that's oh bloody hell, guy in Portugal. Crikey. John.
Yeah, there's a bit at the end where you're videoing John, videoing you, sort of thing, right at the very end.
John, one MSX to go. Yeah, he's in Portugal. He's Portuguese. Well, he's an English guy who lives in Portugal.
So is he still going?
Yeah. He's dropped off the radar quite a bit, but he's still alive as far as I'm. This is like an obituary, isn't it?
Mr. Neckbreaker.
No, he's still going. I think he's called Mr. Skunk Guy. He wasn't. Yeah.
Mr. Retro City.
Don't know. I can't remember that.
Someone called Shaw's, spelled Shaurs.
Yes, Shaw's. He was I bought a lot of quite rare PC Engine titles off him. I know Big Champion Duty Rob bought Pulse Man on the Japanese Mega Drive off Shores as well. He was, again, back in the day, you know. Anyway, but yeah, he was one of the early channels, and he has some lovely stuff, and I managed to get some nice stuff of him, and I know that people got some nice stuff of him as well.
Someone who I've heard mentioned a lot, but had no dealings with whatsoever, called Ninja Bear Hug.
Stu, yeah, lovely guy.
Still doing the old tubes now.
He's doing like cogs and wheels or something, fixing shit, but I haven't seen the video from him for ages.
Retro Rewind.
Yes, he's still going. Dave, I think his name's Dave. Yeah,
still on the tube, is he?
Bit part.
Stuff I wrote.
God, Stuff I Wrote. That name sounds familiar, but I've not seen anything from him for ages.
Emo Joe 1990.
That's Eli. Gashead Steve and a few other people are more familiar with him, but his name's Eli, and I'm sure he used to be Jehovah's Witness.
He probably still is.
If he isn't, he isn't. No,
I'm sure someone called Future Mats, is it? Or Future Maths?
Future Matt is still going. That's Sean's mate. Fagan RS 500.
Is he? That's everyone. That was everyone who was
He's
mentioned.
The guy. He's like Blackpool that I said looked like Doctor Who.
Okay, I vaguely remember him. Yeah.
Yeah, remember I said he looks like the new Doctor Who. That's Matt.
So was that the first ever gaming event you went to, or just the first one you ever videoed? And talk us through that video, because you used to do it video in the journey and everything, and you obviously don't do that very much anymore.
I think that might have been the first one I went. I can't remember now. And the thing is, with videoing it all, but especially back then, it was all new, you know. And I've said this to a few other people. Part of it for me was always about the journey, and I love going on trains. I love part that encapsulates the whole event. But as you do more and more of them, it kind of wears a little bit thin, and the sort of the veneer sort of wears off a little bit, and it becomes less of the journey and more of meeting the people. That makes sense. So, like, yeah, I'm guessing if you went to Disney, the first time, I've never been to Disneyland, but if I went to Disneyland America, I would probably video the whole thing. I tell you what, it's very much akin to what James is sort of saying, Basabi James, when he was visiting Japan as a visitor, he was videoing everything. Now he lives there, he fucking videos nothing, because it's become not a norm, but because it's less exciting, it's less new. Does that make sense? I suppose
it's kind of when someone comes to your hometown who's never been there before. And they go, oh God, that's great. It's like when people come to Dudley and they go, oh God, you've got a castle, man. That's really great, because they've not got one in their town or city. Yeah. But because I've lived in Dudley all my life, it's just Dudley Castle. If you know, if you know.
And sometimes with events like that, especially, but again, what you've got to remember as well, back in 2010, 2012, whatever, the events were in the infancy. It was quite a new thing, you know. There was
that's what I was going to go on.
Yeah,
I was going to go on to that because you can see how far replay events have come from 2012 to the product they're doing now. And I just wanted to point out in that video, you might want to go and check out. There's quite a hot blonde playing a Wii at one point. Yeah,
Rich King Retro would probably have been sniffing around at that point.
Yeah, there's a Vectrex there as well. Like, and you literally just pan past and go, yeah, there's Vectrex. As though like, it's one you see every 5 minutes. Yeah,
but that's how it was back then. It's weird because things shift, interest shift. I'm not going to say rarity shifts, but optics and concentration shifts from different systems over the years. It's just how it is.
But as I say, I mean, anyone who's not watched that video and has been to a play event recently, it's worth going back to watch just to see how far that event has come itself, sort of thing. So we got a question from Soyoin, Ginger Hippie Gaming 42. Do you still enjoy making videos? Well, I'll let you answer that.
I do. I enjoy. I can put it. I enjoy making the videos. I don't enjoy having to piss about with them. I'm not an editor. I've never been that way. I can do enough to make it look okay, but it's not my forte, and it never was. That was never my intention with doing YouTube. I'm not gonna start making like putting 50 hours, whatever, into all these. That's for me. YouTube was about you. The name, the clues in the name. It's YouTube. It's videos about you and what you want to do, not making videos about other stuff that really aren't to do with you. If that makes sense. So go on.
I'm going to throw something out there because obviously I've watched a few of your videos today just to do a little bit of research rather than reading your Wikipedia page. In your old videos, you look like you're comfortable and you can get around your room to do the video and you seem more relaxed. I know that's not the case now, and it's such a ball ache for you to just do a video. And I think that's part of your problem.
Oh, massive, honestly. Guys, I'm not fucking flogging a dead horse here, but I've got literally like 2 foot square patch on the floor that I could probably clear to make a video. And it's the hauling in, hauling out, and yeah, it's not. And the rooms, I keep saying this for years and years. The room is not conducive for either making. So actually, that's a lot to make videos. It's really good because you get a lot of natural light, given the right time of year. But to play videos, move stuff, it's not. It's it's a space, and I'm grateful for it because a lot of people don't have that. And I can appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, when making videos becomes a chore and it becomes a ball ache, then you're less likely to be, up and enthusiastic about it.
I can totally agree there because, as you know, when I had my house rewired, all this went into storage, and I disappeared for ages because this wasn't here. And almost one of the main reasons why I'm doing more videos now is because I've got the most space I've ever had in here. Everything's in its place, and I'm really comfortable. And I can move the chair around if I want. I'll just feel relaxed. And looking at some of your early videos when you stood in front of the bookcase, in fact, you come up with a line saying, "I've finally used my tripod. I've got it to its full extension."
That's never happened since.
And you were going, "Oh, I'm 6 foot something, and I've got to crouch down a bit." And I was just pissing myself laughing because you said that line and obviously never realised what you said and just carried on going.
It's a euphemism there somewhere, I'm sure.
Question from Xbox 360 Collect 2 is now Bahaha.
Ross,
what is the estimated amount of cans of Budweisers? See, drinking Budweisers is something you've been doing for years because it's in your early videos for sure.
What's the estimated amount of cans of Budweiser you drank in videos? Must be possible to guess based on a number of videos. I don't. I must have shares in them.
If it's 2 cans per average video, that's over 1,200.
There you go then.
Now,
that's a very generous.
I know Alex has asked a question. I know he's still got a recovering hard, but surely the fucking caps button works. Tooty, what's your favourite event?
What? See,
100 meters.
The one-arm deadlift.
Come on, Andy doesn't watch this, but Craig does sometimes.
So historically, so what? I would probably say back in the day, it was Play Manchester was a thing. Honestly, because it was so new, it was so great, and Play Manchester and Play Blackpool, they were completely different events to what you know now. Play Blackpool. The first Play Blackpool was fucking amazing. I'm sure I've said this before. How it is now is not a patch.
Play Blackpool. The first one you ever recorded was in 2014.
Yeah.
And there's filming in the Norbreck, I'm sure, Scott's Gamers Asylum, someone who I vaguely saw while you were videoing.
And that was like, it was the poles apart. The most enjoyable ones now, I would sort of say, is the revival ones, because I think Daz and Dave, Retro Pinball, Golden Silver Balls, Dave Pinball, Nintendo.
Arcade.
I think they went to one of the first revivals, which is at the race course.
Yeah.
I remember Daz saying to me, he goes, "Oh, it's a smaller event, Stu, and it's just that near." And I think it was in its infancy. I think it was kind of like a year or two behind the Play events. And I never put too much mind to it because honestly, like Play Blackpool,
I'm sure I'm not wrong here, but the early Play events, I'm sure Craig Turner supplied arcades for those, and then decided he was going to do his own thing in the Midlands as well. But I'm sure he was still supplying. I might not be completely correct there, but it's something along those stories.
But I would say now, from an enjoyable, relaxed, chilled, very kind of like Blackpool-esque early event, revival. Honestly, and I know there's some little bias there, but I think they're less. It's the less commercialization of it as well.
I was just about to say, if you look at those early videos you do of the events, you can see how far Play have come along, but you can also see how more corporate, more commercialized they've become as well.
I mean, I remember the first Play Blackpool. There were stalls in the aisles. There were stalls, where he's basically filled that whole room with arcade machines. There were stalls on the outside. There was attic arcade and stuff like that, selling 8 and 16-bit stuff. A really good mix, something for everybody, and then it's just condensed it down to one little room where it's like fucking. At one point, it was all fudge and fucking plastic swords and like fucking flying helicopters, and then you had like Alan and a handful of people selling games, and it's like, is this what it's come to, really? Yeah, and I know. Look, the thing is,
at the end of the day, it's no criticism to Andy Brown, because at the end of the day, he's living and he's got to make it play. So
he's got to make a living, yeah. But I just don't think it was very conducive with. I think the community and like what people, especially like the YouTube people and the collectors and the and the gamers wanted. It was great for like the casual person, because they can rock up and they can play Afterburn, they can play fucking Space Harrier, and all these great games for like what, 20 quid or whatever for the day. But that was never really what us collectors, weirdos, nut jobs really wanted, because we could always play that. We wanted, I don't know what, it's hard to explain. It just didn't feel right. It didn't, like, the energy weren't quite right, if that makes sense. But the thing is, though, what you don't know, you don't miss. So some people, it is what it is, and they're none the wiser.
I agree. So the next question is related to events as well. Big Game Al, best game you ever found at an event? So I'm guessing that's a purchase. This is how he thinks. He tops himself up with Budweiser. It's like Popeye's spinach.
I'm just trying to fit. Okay. It depends how you look at this. Because weirdly enough, Alan's asked that because his name's Nick, but I always remember him as like some ninja, the ninja collector. In Play Blackpool, he sold me Musha on the Japanese PlayStation, and there's like 3 PlayStation 1 shooters, R-Type, and some out. So I can't remember what the name is now. For and Daz Co Jones was obviously late to the party, and I bought it, and he'd been like coveting that game for the longest time. That was a nice one, but I think the best deal, and it's nothing to do with like Lewis and his like fucking golden gun game on the PlayStation 2, not that level, but it was at the Revival, and I got a Mega CD game, and I can't remember what it's called now, but I got it for a really, really good price, and I got an empty box for Mystical Ninja on the SNES as well, bundled in.
Daz always seems to miss out on the deals.
Hey?
Daz always seems to be moaning that he's missed out on the deals whenever I see him at the event. But he's still there early doors. I don't know what the fuck he does.
I don't know. But that's two things. Like Musha and that bundle was great. But I'm not sure in terms of like the overall. I can't remember what it's called now. It's one of the bloody Mega CD titles. I mean, they're all shit anyway. But that was a good price.
Russ the Retro Bear wants to know, are you planning on doing any more videos in the middle of the storm like the last one you did in Storm Sierra? That was on your ASMR channel, weren't it?
Yeah, I'm going to put them up, yeah. That's a second microphone. Well, hopefully, well, depending on what happens with the old the case demic, this should be knocked down soon. We've had the money's here, the guy's waiting to come and lock it down. So, although that's a good thing in some respects, I'm not looking forward to the whole process of trying to find where to put all this stuff.
You know what, though, Stu? I think that might give you a breath of fresh air to kickstart your tubes again as well. Once you've got a space you're comfortable in. Yeah,
but that's the thing. I ain't gonna have a space.
Yeah, there's going to be a time while it's happening, while it's being built, where you're going to have nowhere to put anything.
No, because this space will be the wife's office.
Well, she won't mind you doing videos with her in the background. I'd prefer it, to be fair. Eddie's got a question, but I'm going to bring some up before we answer this. Also, in your early days, you used to do a lot of VR community questions. Used to be a really big thing, probably about 6 years ago. And one was asked by Woodlands, where it says, "Will you always collect?" Do you remember what your answer was to that?
No, as in no. No.
You did say you would, but you do say that you planned on trimming out your Xbox collection, which obviously is that what happened? So do you miss it?
So that would be the OG.
Yeah.
Or like the original or whatever, the first Xbox. And I mentioned before, I traded a load of them to oh god, what was his bloody name? It'll come to me. For a lot of Saturn and Neo Geo AS games. So I was like, that's fine. I'm cool with that. I had quite a decent original Xbox collection. Phil Kett. So that the thing is, the first time I had an Xbox, I bought one that was modded from eBay. Like literally, it must have been like 2002. With a load of burnt discs, and I never really had an affinity with it. It was just like it's a thing. Let's just get it, you know. And that's how it was. And obviously, as you sort of get, I've got an Xbox, I'll get a few games, and you start collecting. And that's really where it comes from. The only one game that I would have, even now, if I seen it, I would keep would be Conkers. That's all, just because it's such a weird, quirky, iconic game. But I don't miss it now. No.
See, I think with the Xbox,
there's not many collections that I've got rid of that I regret, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, with the Xbox, for me, like you, I had no affinity to it back in the day. And I think it's one of the machines, if you don't have an affinity with, it's hard to find love for, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's not an attractive looking system. It's heavy as
No,
fuck.
it's not pretty, is it?
You know, and it's like not even like the games are unique to it. Like like how I never had a NES growing up as a kid, but it's different to a Master System, so it interests me. Whereas an Xbox isn't really that different to a PS2 games wise. If you get what I'm saying.
I mean, they are better. I would say there's not the sort of the cross-platform games on the Xbox, because it is a more powerful system. They do look better, but I would agree with you. I think the whole aesthetic of the machine is not great. I've got an Xbox sat there. I've got a modded one from Beeps, Brian, that I just use for coin ops.
Yeah, that's all I've got one for.
And that's it, But yeah.
While we're quickly talking about community questions and VRs, I mean, when I first started YouTube, that was still a thing. Like, I remember doing some to the retro heads. They used to, who were Team Chav at the time, they used to do a lot of community questions. That seems to have completely gone. All I can think of is Novabug's Friday Foursome that he does every now and then is the only sort of thing I can think. Obviously, you've got Rob Gernaldino's playing spelling your game with your name with your games, and he's fighting with 5 lives, but that involves you doing something. Whereas the community question was almost like asking people's opinion on the same thing.
Is that a question or is that an answer?
Yeah, I'm just saying, do you think it's completely disappeared, and why do you think it's gone?
So why the arse just fell out of it, like I said before, because back in the day you could tag people. You could actually tag people, and when you got tagged, you got a notification. Big or small, yeah. You could tag some of the sort of fucking whales of YouTube or whatever, and you could tag people for a response. Now like the sort of saying to it's pushed out of the tool set, and unless people watch and they know, forget about it. It's not YouTube is not it's not YouTube at all. It's fucking commercial tube. It's about making money. It's nothing to do with people and forming communities and forming whatever. You have to do that outside of it and push back into YouTube to talk about it.
So kind of leads. I think this is a question or also a statement. Shock says YouTube is all about elitism, bullying, and drama these days. I mean, I'm almost wondering, has he read all my WhatsApp fucking comments?
No, I think that's a question to you, Dana.
Is it? I only involved probably. I'm not an elitist. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, like the Meatloaf song. Probably.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't.
Is it a bully? Is it, elitism has always been there, and it will always be there. I mean, I'm not a toy collector. I watch a lot of toy channels because I find it interesting. And I'm sure like Russ watches a lot of mountain bike videos, and you watch everyone watches other things, and there's always going to be an elitist thing. Like, you haven't got the best of this, you haven't got TVs, fucking DVDs, or whatever you might call it. Oh, you haven't got a 4K TV. That's the nature of the beast. Bully culture, I don't know. I'm not sure about bully culture. I mean, how can you bully somebody remote?
You know what?
Pick on people. You could probably like sideline them if it's concerted effort, but I don't. Drama. There's always drama. I mean, that's just
cheeky man.
People feed on drama. They love it because some people just like it.
I mean, look, like at the end of the day, 90% of the people, or 99% of the people I watch on YouTube are middle-aged blokes. We all grew up in a generation where piss taking was piss taking. Now, in the last 5 to 10 years, people have all of a sudden stopped taking fucking jokes and banters as jokes and banters. Now, just because I say something that offends someone doesn't mean I'm fucking wrong, is the way I see it.
No, offence is never given. It's always taken.
Yeah. But the only person, I don't even bully Raz. Raz knows I like him. I just like to take the piss out of him because I know he can take it. Retro Bear says, how many tubers have confessed you were the first person they met from the YouTube and was touched by?
Well, there's been a few I've been touched by, but that's nature of the beast. That's going back to the bullying side of what Shock said. You know, that's a given. That's my right. That's an elitism.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Dad and Lads Gaming. Sorry, similar looking logo in the little corner there. Do you prefer an event as a seller or a normal visitor?
Ooh.
Depends how skint I am. Is my answer.
Yeah, that's a good question. That is. Ooh.
I enjoyed Leeds when we went to Leeds.
It's nice to not be tied to something and like have to worry, or not worry, but like be conscious about something else. But equally, it's nice to be there early and like, I'm not sort of saying bag all the bargains, because there's people that get in early, even as stores. I've done it. I don't mind other people doing it either, and that's just an extra to beat. I get that. But the good thing about being a seller is you tend to have a bit more capital, and also at the end of the day, if someone hasn't sold an item that you're after and you've got the capital to buy it, you're more inclined to get a deal. Whereas if you're a normal visitor, it's like buy it now or you're and that's happened to load. I mean, me and Dana spoke about this before. One of the ones we both should have bought Jaws on the NES and we didn't, and then we went back and it was gone. You know, and it's little things like that. We look back and we can laugh, we can giggle, but
I fucking picked it up.
I did as well. I picked it before you.
But the best thing is, I bought other stuff off that guy, so I could have bundled it.
And I looked at it and thought, I'll leave it. I'll come back, and it's gone. You know, and that's it is what it is. They make nice stories.
What I will say, like with yourself, you get to know 90% of the vendors. Like obviously Lee from Sore Thumbs always sorts me out. Japanese Alan, Scottish Alan always sorts me out. You know, you don't pay what your regular punter's paying. But most of these people, if you're buying a bundle anyway, will do you a deal.
Yeah.
Obviously, Nick from Vintage Gamer, when I bought that Vectrex at Revival, you know, I bought it before the doors open. I just said to him, look, no sooner I've got the money, I'll come over and pay you. And that is the advantage.
And that's a good thing about being a seller.
Yeah.
But I did that the last Doncast. I bought like 3 Mega CD games using that same tactic.
Gib 84 always thinks the Gebs.
I always think
it. Tooty, what is your favorite gaming channel and what is your favorite kind of content? I think that's a fucking brilliant question.
So
Bithead 1000.
Yeah, when you talk about gaming, see, Bithead isn't really a gaming. For me, he's not a gaming channel. He's more like a commentary of his, and that's. I said this to my mate Fob. I said this to you guys. I don't really watch the other bit where he starts getting the fucking TV down. That doesn't really interest me. It's the bit before where he's just rambling for like the first 15 minutes, and it is like a little bit sort of. But it's him. It's the person. And I think a lot of people sort of say this, you know, there's some people you can just watch them read the fucking phone book. And I think Jesse Bithead's one of them people. But my favourite kind of content is, you know, it's no fucking, I like pickup videos. I don't watch gameplay videos. Not really, I have zero interest in like documentary whatever things, because you're just Googling and there's no real fucking thing gone on here. There's no real effort. I mean, there is effort put in there, but you're not going out your way. The only person, I'll tell you what I would love to see someone make a movie of Alex and forget the guy's name now, it'll come to me, over in the States, that put together Sky Skipper as a movie. That's proper investigative journalism, or whatever you want to call it. That's doing it properly. You know, fucking speaking this, that, and Googling someone's comments and put. I get people like them kind of videos, but they're not for me. I pick up videos like people talking about stuff they've got, how they've got them, why they've got them, and look, I don't even care if they don't even know what it is that they've got, but it's a story around how they've got them. And that's what I enjoy. And I make no bones about it. That's, for me, is what YouTube is about. It's you and your journey.
I've just got to deal with Raz, usual. Why bother writing questions in big letters if Dane fucking skips them? Well, if they're stupid questions, unlike 99.9% of other people who do streams and just highlight every stupid fucking question, I filter through them. So
I've got to go for a break because I need a wee and more beer.
Okay, I'll talk to Raz.
You can talk to Raz.
But yeah, I'm not going to fucking ask questions about what is your favourite chicken-based game and, you know, what's this? When Stu put in a fucking post on Instagram, because I'm not like the other stupid hosts who do videos who put up all the stupid questions that aren't going to get answered. I can't believe he's gone for a piss break. So amateur. That's an actual question. Tooty, do you have any legitimate women subs? Because my actual stat is I have 100% male viewers. The age range has moved up and down for some reason, so I'm either appealing to younger or older men now. And I'm also upset because that means Beth Bear and Holster must not fucking watch my content, which have a word with Kevin Wolford about that. What 3 games do you still want in your collection? I will ask him that when I get back. I can see Jay's just replied to my comment that I put back to him on my last YouTube video, so thanks for not watching there. It was a good... Raz, seriously, I've scrolled through looking for your question. So if you rewrite it, mate, I will ask you. But I have had a lot of questions and I'm trying to keep up with them. Is it the one where you ask about him, when's he getting a driver's license? Because that's a stupid fucking question in my eyes. When are you not going to be Swedish? And or annoying? Probably never is the answer. Fuck me, how many comments am I behind? Like... Phil Kett, what is that even English? Fuck me, how long's this piss he's gone for? I'm struggling here. I'm talking on my own, having a beer. No, it wasn't. Thanks, Stu. Seems like years ago now. Oh, fucking that's Alex. Sorry, you were under Raz. You got guilty by association there. Hamster Station. Is this Eve? Yes, nice little pickup of eBay. Excuse me, but I don't have a dick and I have some to watch most content. Ross, can we verify that, please? We need to do a check. I don't even know what the question was, other than the only question he's asked, when is Stu getting a driver's license? So if it's not that question, it's not on my list because it gets cut off after a certain point. So if he was asked before 8:16, get the likes on the stream, then I've missed it. He's back. Fuck me, you're like a camel, Stu. We have actually had some sensible questions. Razzy's still crying.
Oh, I see. I just want to add, because I actually went for a piss off, clearly. Whitney Roberts is Alex's mate who did Sky Skipper. And I'll tell you, that would make an amazing movie, let alone anything else. And I just want to mention one other person. They sort of say, "Oh, I don't like all these, the best of making of blah blah." There's one channel that I do watch, and no, I mean, I watched him when he had like about 1,000 subs or whatever, and it's Pat Q. No, 1,000 subs. Pat QC, man. Now, ordinarily, I wouldn't bother, but if you go back to watch Pat's history, he's actually a paraplegic. He's basically lost all his limbs, and for me, it's like, this is what the guy's trying to do, probably to make ends meet, and the least I can do is like watch it, and that. They are arcade history videos, right? But I'm like, it's fucking nothing else, man. This guy's doing it, and you know, and maybe that's one of the best things for YouTube in that respect. So look, the guy probably doesn't need any more help at all, because I think he's on about like 250,000 subs, if not more. But
what's his channel's name again? Just mention it again in case.
It's called Pat QC Man. Pat QC Man. But all it's just history of like arcade games and stuff like that. Very much akin to the sort of evergreen stuff, which I've proclaimed that I'm not a fan of. But I watch him purely for who he is, if that makes sense. He was, I think he used to be really into his temping bowling, but he's lost all his limbs. And I think he might be ex-military. I can't remember.
So basically what you're saying is for you to be into our topper videos or evergreen stuff, we've got to lose our arms and legs.
Maybe.
Okay. Maybe one leg I can go to, but anyway, Snoopman79, what 3 games do you still want in your collection? I'm assuming that's to you.
Oh. God. I'm trying to think now. Because that's obviously multi-platform and stuff like that. God. I don't know. I don't really. There's nothing that's necessarily holy grail that I could think of. Let me come back to that one. Let me have a think about that.
Have a think, because I think
3 is quite a lot.
Might be easy for you. Question for Stu. The Xbox 360.
The dustbin. The fucking Nevercade. Money for old rope.
I don't even understand that saying, because isn't old rope still useful?
It's basically a saying, because like old rope is worn out. So why would you pay good money for worn out rope when you could buy new rope? Money for old rope.
I've never bought any rope at all in my life. I've always used old rope. That is fucking true fact. Find a bit of old rope on the building site, use it to tie my plank on the fucking top of the fucking scaffold. Sega Saturn lad, Scott, question for Stu. Do you consider any of your collection an investment for the future?
I don't. As long as it lasts, isn't it, Scott? Though, let's be honest. I suppose people, I don't know, when they collected stamps, and I don't know if stamps collecting is still a thing, but like maybe like 30 years ago, everyone's like, yeah, we're onto a fucking gold mine here. No one's collecting stamps. We've got the penny black and whatever. And then everyone just stopped collecting stamps. Old trains, maybe. I don't know.
Fucking trains are expensive, man.
Well, they are, but it's all, if you have, it's like I tried to explain with the CX model, you know, in terms of like everyone was pissing and moaning about the CX, and my argument always was that they encouraged the mum and pops to go in their lofts and whatever and pull that very finite amount of retro games that were in circulation back into circulation, if that makes sense. But once those people are interested in those games and that thing, once they dwindle, then no one's going to buy them. You know, a lot of people sort of say about Atari 2600s. The reason why they're still quite cheap is because no one wants to buy them. Because the market for those people that want to buy them, they're all dying.
Fuck me, I've just bought one for 40 quid. You make me feel like a right fucker now.
You're an exception. You see what I'm saying? Do you remember them? Yeah. There was a massive SNES boom. And it's because the ages move and the demographic moves to what's interesting and what's classed as retro and what people want to get back.
When PS2 dickheads to come round then. I'll be emptying my shed.
I don't know. So is it an investment for the future? If you sell it, mate, if I sold it within the next 5 years, yes. If I left it for 20, 30 years, no, realistically. Is anyone, how old am I now? I fucking forget. But in 30 years' time, you know, is anybody of that era really want to kind of go buy my stuff. Do you see what I mean? It's like
he'll lose its value. It's like antique ornaments now. No fucker wants them.
But people do, but for different reasons.
Fucking because they're worth something, but the value, like my mum and dad used to collect Royal Dalton, and about 4 years ago, it was worth a fucking fortune. Now, no one wants ornaments in their house.
No, the ass just fell out. That's kind of what I'm getting to. But it cycles. Maybe it might come back around again. I don't know. But no, so go on. Let's move on.
Question from Addy Sneak Free. Question for Tooty. When and why did you start exclusively chugging bud? So drinking bud.
No, I've always been a bud drinker. Even that's a lie. That's a lie. When I was a youth, it was the old fucking cider because it was sweet and it was easy to drink, weren't it? You know, it tasted nice. Beer's an acquired taste.
I used to drink loads of bud. I did. When my parents used to go to Belgium every year when I was like 14, 15, they'd always bring me back like the little like half pint like crates of them Budweiser.
Yeah, they're not Budweiser. That's Budvar. That's little stubbies. They're not the same thing.
It's still fucking Budweiser. Got Bud writ on the side.
But anyway, the whole Bud thing, how that started was my brother, who was 2 years older than me. He was working. He was like well off, I suppose. Back then, he was well off, and we would go out. We'd all go out. Me and my mates and his mates would all go out together. And it would get to like, we would go out on the Friday night. We'd get absolutely melted. And on the Saturday night, everyone would be struggling. And the thing that got you through it, rather than the cheap pish like fucking Holston pills and fucking Lamonts and Grolsch, was Bud. Because Bud had a sweeter taste to it, I suppose. If that makes sense. But Bud was always more expensive. So my brother, fair play to him, man, he used to sort of say to me, like, I'll get you a couple of buds to get you going. And that's how it started.
See, I used to drink lager and then it just used to bloat me. So then I used to drink ales like when I was in my late teens, like when no one else was drinking ales. And now I drink cider. I'll drink anything as long as it's alcoholic.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, look, I'm not... I wouldn't go, I'm not drinking anything but Budweiser. I'll go to me out, well, I used to go and see me out, man. And I'd drink like Brew 11 and stuff like that. And I'd drink Guinness. And, you know, it's not like de facto. It's just that I know my limits with Bud, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I don't, but that's how it is.
You couldn't be like me on a night out where I just buy anything and everything and mix it all up then.
No, you're just a fucking animal.
Jimmy Retro says Lakers versus Celtics, Stu. I'm assuming
No, never released. Never released. It was unreleased. It was a promo release. What?
I just want to highlight this guy because whenever I read a comment from him, it's always brilliant. The original button basher.
Oh, Mick. I like Mick.
He's fucking brilliant. Whenever I see him write a comment, it's always something good. Always.
I've seen this. Someone sent me this. And I fucking said to them, you wait, there's another begging video due.
Oh, about his, I think it was me that shared it saying he couldn't be a nicer fucking guy.
About his house, he's a fucking scavenging little bastard. Get a fucking job, you lazy cunt.
Raz reckons I'm skipping his comment. I've literally seen no decent... It just says, no, wasn't. I'm only skipping comments that are fucking stupid, to be honest, Raz. If people have stupid comments, I've not, I'm not like someone here who fucking answers three questions a fucking night. I answer more if they're relevant. If they're not relevant, I ain't got time for that. Someone else writing about Top Hat Gaming, man. Octavius Kitten. She's earning $4,000 a month for not doing a video for 18 months. Fair play to her. Question. I
don't know.
A sensible question. See, sensible questions get asked. What is your favourite complete collection?
The Master System.
Ooh,
Sega Master System.
I'll agree there. That's one of my favourite systems.
Yeah.
I had some preset questions. Let's see if I can find them. If I remember what the fuck.
Yeah, I have to admit, I think there's some not great games, but I think if you look at the 8-bit console generation, the mass so under. I mean, the NES basically dominated because of North America. But if you look at some of the games and the music and stuff for the awesome. I'm not sort of saying the NES ain't a patch on it or whatever, but for me, the Master System has some absolute bouters. And obviously, my de facto favourite game is Phantasy Star.
So I had some preset questions just in case we went dry. And if you could have any full set that you don't have, what would it be?
Oh, Neo Geo AES.
No.
Oh, yeah.
So you heard it here, thieves. Next full set. Forget that.
Oh, yeah, if I rob the bank or win the fucking lottery. My God, that'd be expensive as hell.
You know what you ought to do? Do a video on how much CX would give you for a full set of AES cards. Might get a few views, that ad.
Oh, that means this. How much would CX give me for my ass?
Fucking not a lot.
Bait Central. I mean, why do people watch them stupid? I don't know.
Yeah, I've got some more questions.
Did they even sell it? Did they ever sell it? No. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna like fucking trolley all my collection in there just to make a stupid video about how much CX might give me. Oh, come on, man. It's not like Joe Biden, but
you look a bit like him as well. Bit older than him. So the ages is Joe Biden, Tony, then you.
Me.
Yeah.
Well, at least Tony's above me.
Tony's always above you on all sorts of levels. Another question I had set. I've seen that question from Eddie. I'll ask that next. What advice would you give to newcomers on YouTube? Because we do have a few in the comments, or we did have earlier.
Just be yourselves, man. Honestly, guys. If you can't be yourselves, then don't bother. Don't try. I say don't try to imitate. Don't rip other people off. If someone's doing something that's pretty good and they've got a whatever, maybe steal a little bit of it, but don't clone them. Cloning's like shite. Everyone will see through it.
You know what I was going to say? A lot of the time in the past, like I've seen some of your other videos, when you've done like something that someone else done, you always give kudos to the person who started it or did it.
Yeah, give a nod. Give a nod.
That seems to get lost a lot of the time now on YouTube. Like, you know,
of course it does. Because the thing is,
no one wants to promote anyone else. Everyone's out for the self kind of thing. Some sort of action.
But again, I'm being a miserable old bastard here, but a lot of people now, they just see this as a means to not having a job, and I don't get that. It's a free platform. We're all making shitty hobbyist videos. Whether you spend 50 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours, they're shitty hobbyist videos. Don't fool yourself. You're not going to make a living out of this. Right?
Unless you come up with some brilliant new idea that's never been seen.
And if you're that good, you'd be on Amazon, you'd be on Netflix. You ain't. So wind your neck in and just like the thing is with YouTube, do it for your own reason. Why are you doing these videos? Why do you want to make videos? If you want to make the videos to be famous, successful, and make money, then fucking stop now. Because chances are you ain't going to do it, and you're going to get really pissed off, and you'll quit. That's it. If you're doing it for, if you're doing it to reach out to people, like-minded people, and to form like relationships and friendships with people, great. But don't start making it a bigger thing than it ever is, because you're a fucking path to nothing.
I do think you hear a lot of people who seem to be disappointed. Like, there's one thing, and I can hand on heart say this: since I started YouTube, I've never been disappointed with any performance of any video, because I sit here fucking surprised that anyone wants to watch. It blows my mind that people. I don't think, oh my God, that video didn't get 100 views, or it didn't get this, didn't get that.
I don't care, Dane. Look, if I was that bothered about this, like a lot of these other like fake people that are to do like the image and whatever, I would have deleted all the old videos. That's what they do. They go back and they delete all the videos that they're not happy with, that haven't made any money, and they're embarrassed about. It's not. This is not my YouTube channel. Whatever. It's my journey. It's my collection journey. That's all it was ever about. It's just sharing my journey and my collection with people. If people want to watch it, great. If you don't want to watch it, I don't give two fucks. I do not care. I couldn't care less. It's not what it's about. It's not about making money. It's not about fucking getting 100 million views and whatever. Because you're on hiding to nothing. Like, no matter. And what's really amazing is sometimes, especially with the retro community, you get some people that go, "Oh yeah, he's got 100,000 subs." Honestly, I've mentioned this before. There's a guy, superhuman, who jumps off a fucking platform, lands on a fucking plank of wood with nails in it. It lasts 30 seconds, and the guy wipes out anybody else's views.
For the juggalos and juggalettes. Woo woo!
Exactly. You're pinhead. Get real. Wind your ego in. You're nothing. You're literally nothing in terms of YouTube, the platform. There's some stupid videos out there, and these people that make these fucking retro gaming videos, and they think that you're nothing. Just take it for what it is. Enjoy it for what it is. If you're here to make friends and enjoy the community and be part of something, great. If you're here to make money and try and be famous and whatever, then just no. It's for me, that's not what it's about. It's never been about that. And I don't enjoy channels that do that. I don't watch channels that do that, basically.
Kind of on the thing. This is a new thing. Shorts videos. I'm not sure if you're aware of it. Tooty, when will you make your first shorts video? So basically, these are under a minute, are they? It's like
I've got loads of shorts. I've got like some from 1986 Mexico.
They don't fit you anymore.
No, but I can do them. Like what old Bithead said, you could have the old ball hanging out the bottom.
Fucking no? You wouldn't. They'd have to be tight shorts then.
Is that what the shorts are about?
No, it's like this new thing on YouTube, and you do like a short video, and people are getting thousands of views in it, but hashtagging shorts. So basically, YouTube's promoting you to do these short videos. Now, I actually thought that they might be useful for someone like me, because YouTube's a bit shit at telling people you're doing a live stream sometimes, which is the whole point of doing a live stream. Like, unless someone's rung the bell, they don't always know the notification. That's why I've been advertising on Instagram and Twitter. So I was thinking maybe using them for like hour before, do a little shorts video, and people will see it.
What's shorts?
Then after this, go and hashtag shorts into YouTube. And it's basically, you see, you don't know nothing about Instagram either. They're like these little 1 minute videos to like get views and stuff like that. It's the new thing.
No, I'm not bothered about that shite.
Fuck me, you struggle to keep a video under half an hour.
No, I don't care about that. No, I couldn't fucking do that.
Question from Dunk, Woolly Weeble. Which currently owned collection would you cull first, paper or software?
Oh, you bastard, Dunk. I couldn't get rid of the paper. I couldn't get rid of the old paper.
Dust.
Oh, Jesus. Game Gear. That's the only one that's like a fringe collection.
Oh, Jimmy Retro's ears of.
I know he's going to be happy, but that's it. But there's nothing else, because everything I've always said, if it comes in, it's really go out, and that has gone out, has never come back in. But yeah, if I had to, it would be the Game Gear, because that's probably the smallest and least collection. Yeah, it has to be Game Gear.
I'm toying over my Xbox that's still up this corner.
Yeah, get rid of that shite.
The only reason I don't get rid of it is because it's worth fuck all. But I'm thinking, I want the shelf space. So I might box it all up and just fucking hide it somewhere until them Xbox idiots and the PS2 idiots come along and start flogging it to them. Gruss Newton asks a good question. I'm going to find it here. Questions for host. YouTube for me has served its purpose. Met some great people. Now, is that a question to us, or is it a statement, or are you getting on your hot horse? I mean, it's not served a purpose. I mean, it keeps me going during these lockdowns, to be fair. So, you know, and there's still people to be met, but I can understand where Rusty's coming from. Rusty's into his biking stuff now. That's his new community.
Yeah, but he's contradicts himself because he's basically just gone
somewhere else.
A new YouTube. So is that what's asking? Is what he's saying? Is what he's asking? Is YouTube making friends to be on? I don't know.
I think with Russ's frustration is he couldn't get his stream. I think he is going to get his stream back up and going, but I think he's had that thing where he stayed away for that long and not done anything, and he's doing something else that excites him more. It's hard to come back to do.
It's easier. It's easy to start again, I suppose. Yeah.
Lapdog Millionaire. I have a feeling that might not be a real viewer, but I think the question is: is game collecting losing appeal now that more people are collecting, i.e., prices, decent games harder to come by? I'd say they're easier to come by now. CEX are stocking. I mean, unless you're collecting obscure stuff like Vectrex 2600 and PC Engine stuff that CEX don't stock.
I think it's a double-edged sword. I think it's a good question because at what point do you want people to realise they've got stuff in the loft, but equally not realise how much it's worth? And again, I go back to what CEX were doing, which I always sort of thought was a good thing, which is basically pulling those sort of mum and pop people that got stuff in the loft that didn't realise were worth any money, and it's put them back into circulation. But at the same time, obviously what happens then is everyone becomes really, really aware. I don't think, and I've seen loads of these, not loads, but enough of these in the news. The news, like, oh, your old stuff's worth about $1 million, and they're like, Beanie Babies are worth about fucking 500 grand, and it's like, oh, come on, man. It's really bad journalism. They're just looking at like what people want on eBay. That doesn't help.
They seem to come around every 6 months, don't they?
Exactly, yeah. So good question. But look, as long as people ain't firing that shit into the tip and it is going somewhere, then you know what? It's probably not a bad thing. Maybe.
I personally think the more people collecting, the better, because, you know, if I didn't know all these collectors, I wouldn't be able to do the trades I was doing, because we all pick up stuff we're not interested in, and it just gets jumbled around, and someone buys someone off someone else to fund something else.
Yeah, exactly.
Good question from Sega Saturn Lad. Question for Stu: what's the funniest video you have seen in the community? Some of the early Horseborough vids are classics. Also, the Shocks Merchant vid.
What people have made me laugh. Yeah, it's an old fucking bithead. Fucking honestly.
Fucking hell. Is he paying you to keep mentioning his name on my feed?
I've been watching him like probably since as long as I've been on YouTube, and he just makes not all of it, and not some of the stuff recently, yeah. But like I say, it's where he's just riffing on the first 10 minutes of his videos. The rest of it he can fuck off. But yeah, he's the one that entertains me the most, and that's all I watch. I switch off after because I said this to somebody else. They said, "Oh, does he watch Bithead play whatever?" I said, "No, because I switch off after that." I think it's Rob. I think it's Fob. Fob mentioned it. I was like, "No, I switch it off." As soon as like the old fucking monitor comes down, I'll switch it off.
See, Stu, we've found your level of humour here. I'm not sure how old Connor is, but he's a young child and he finds you funny.
Just want to point out that my Connor Hines too hilarious when he's moaning.
So that's all your video then, basically. Gruss said,
yeah,
no, he's still here. I've got a great bunch of mates. And question for Tooty, other than game hoarding and football, do you have any other hobbies other than masturbation?
No.
I'm trying to think, do I? Nah, probably not. Toys, I do like toys, but I can't go down that fucking alley.
I like looking. Oh, that sounds weird. I like looking at toys, but I don't want to. I don't want to collect them. I told you this before, Dane. That's why I want to go to the NEC, because I like seeing. I don't know what it is. I like seeing my past, if that makes sense.
Touching and feeling it, like holding the toy.
Yeah, and it's like seeing the old Transformers and the He-Man stuff, and that's why I like watching the old toy channels. I don't want to collect them, but I like seeing them, and it reminds me of, like, it's like the games, I suppose, to a certain degree, and it reminds you of better, easier, less stressful times, and some things you've never seen before. You know, but yeah, it's
from Pub Grub Gaming. Question for Tooty: what console does he wish he had on release date and why? Have you thought of the 3 games you'd like to add to your collection as well?
No, not yet. The release date 1. See, the thing is with release date machines, they're always overpriced. No, they're always overpriced as well, weren't they? You know what I mean? It's like
overpriced and not got the best software to play
games.
I
remember, right, in my hometown, Coventry, the West Orchards, and there was a shop, like a high-tech shop on the right-hand side as you went up to the escalators. And it had the Jaguar, it had the 3DO. What else? It had something else. It might be in a PC. And they're all showing like magic carpet and stuff. And it was like hundreds of pounds, but you couldn't afford it. So I think, what console did I wish that I had from release date and why? Probably very little, because I couldn't afford them. And the ones that I probably did with like the SNES and stuff, and they were reasonable. I think once you got past, once you moved to the CD based systems, the prices of things it just doubled, it tripled. Less maybe, because I remember getting the PlayStation, but I think I got the PlayStation when it had a massive price drop.
I had it on the not the Never out my mum's K's
Yeah,
catalogue.
I got mine for Toys R Us.
I remember, in fact, it's a game I need to add to my collection, a game called Life Force Tenka. I don't even know if it's a good game. I just want it because I remember it was in the bundle of launch titles that came with mine, sort of thing.
Good question from Lee, though.
Question from Big Game Al. What did you use to collect before video games?
Soggy socks.
I'm going to ask this just so Raz, I'm not answering because I have no interest in that end of the Premier League. But Stu, your opinion, top 3 this season?
Man City, Chelsea, Man U, and then us.
That's 4.
Yeah, but I've got to put us at number 4.
I don't think Chelsea are going to be anywhere near.
No, they will. They'll come back.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, right?
That squad's too good to fail.
I'll be honest. The whole lockdown and how football's gone since lockdown with no fans couldn't have come at the worst time for me, because I'd already fell out of love with the game of football from all the hours I'd put in coaching, playing, and everything. And now, like with all this, I don't enjoy watching the games on the telly. And I just, other than the Albion, I can't be arsed with any of it. And I can't be arsed with the Albion 90% of the time. From Nintendo Arcades, Alex, question for Stu. Have you got a Vectrex, as I don't see You,
No, Alex, send me yours then.
we nearly got you one, Stu. Stu, there was two up
Yeah.
in Lincolnshire for 60 quid, but I couldn't fucking find them for love of the money the other day.
They nearly got me one. I'd love to have one. I'm not gonna lie. It would never get played. I need some else to collect more dust in the room.
I'll tell you what, I don't know if it was a fake post, but the other day one came on in Birmingham, a Jaguar box with 9 box games for 50 quid. It was come on at like 11:30 on a night. I messaged, I'd have gone to fucking fetch it at 1 o'clock in the morning. I didn't care, but it disappeared straight away. So I don't know if
apparently there's been a lot of these fake things as well, Dane, on there. So I've heard.
I mean, it's fair enough. If they thought they were going to do me over at 1 o'clock in the morning, I'd have beat the fuck out of them. No problem.
I mean, it's stuff like, especially the PS5s and stuff like, oh
Yeah,
yeah,
send
I can send it, yeah, but it's got to be like friends and fam. Like, where's Mark? You can't come and collect it. I've got to post it. It's friends and family only.
Question from Cine Steve. You seem to have so much nostalgia for the Amiga, but you don't collect games for it. Why? Haven't you got the games on CD like you burnt for me? That's why.
Yeah, so, no, fair play to Steve, man. I love watching Steve's videos. And I don't know, like, if people don't know about Steve, whatever, and if you're into the Amiga, go and watch Steve. Or I could watch him pick up. He goes, oh, yeah, I've got a box of Amiga games. I'm not going to show them all. I'm only going to show these ones. I'm like, no, show the fucking lot. I want to see them all. I have got, like, so a lot of my history is tied up with my mate John. And obviously he had an Amiga, and a lot of it is all like copies and stuff. But he had a lot of original stuff, etc. The reason why I don't collect Amiga games is probably the reason why you're struggling, Steve. It's space, but also I never really had any originals. I had an Amiga 500. I had copies, so I've got no real like tie to it, if that makes sense. But the games and the whole aura around the whole system I love it. And I can relate to it, I can appreciate it and stuff like that. But going back to what Dana said as well, in terms of the discs, obviously I've got Amiga CD32, and I burnt them. Have you tried them discs, Dana?
Yeah, I've tried them. I've played them.
Did it work?
Yeah, otherwise I'd have texted you saying you'd done me a load of shit.
So there you go then. So there's a lot of them sort of like the 500 games and stuff like that, which would work on that anyway. So, but yeah, it's a space, it's a condition issue, if that makes sense. And you have to, like, I've got finite space. I can't, I've got my 1200 still in there. I've got a compact flash card. I've got WHD load. I've got the 8 meg expansion. That's probably that will do me. And I'll watch you, Steve, and I'll watch you pick up them absolute gems of games.
I'm pretty much, see, I like the Amstrad, but I never go for a set of, try and collect tapes for it, because I just find it a waste of space. I can play it in a much better way on an SD card reader. On an Amstrad is what I do. And I don't feel that about cartridges, but I do feel it about the old tapes. Question from the Gib 84. If you had to lose one of your collections except one, what would you keep and why? So basically, gotta get rid of all this shit, but you can keep one bit.
Oh right, okay. That'd be the Master System. I'd keep the Master System.
Always the Master System.
Yeah.
Sega Saturn lad, when is you going for full Wii U or moving the collection on?
Oh, Wii U. No, I think, you know what? Wii U's a sleeper. That's a sleeper collection, that is. I'm telling you that much now. I know Lewis has got near enough 2 collections of that, or Wish Wash. But yeah, it's
like a lost in between console, really, isn't it? I think it'll be.
And I think it'll come into its own eventually. But I've got a lot of the sort of the better big box games anyway, because I'd pre-ordered them and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm not gonna get all the weird and wonderful stuff, but I definitely think it's a sleeper. It's going to be a sleeper collection for sure.
Please be kind, Stu, because I don't know if
No.
Jimmy 74 is a real channel or he's just trying to get a rise.
He's getting a rise, isn't he?
Question for Stu and Dana: what is your ideal gaming set? I don't know what he means by gaming set. Can you elaborate? Setup. Oh, you mean setup? Setup, yeah. You mean setup? So I'll let you go for. I'm quite happy with how my gaming setup is at the moment. To be fair, I've got everything around me. It's all accessible. Yours, I know, isn't.
No, well, I know it sounds daft, but I'm a clean line kind of person. I don't like clutter. I know it sounds daft, but I don't like it. I love Marcus, Dad Lads Gaming.
Yes.
That the clean lines, making like just keep shit clean. Oh, I love that.
See, I do need to hoover in here again, but I have been dusting again today. Let me show you my duster, man. Been dusting again today, right? I've got all my systems nicely on like in them Kallax things with glass shelves in between, but none of my stuff's set up. I'm trying to find the baggies that I'll keep them in. Listen, see, so like, let me fucking get to it. So all my stuff is like my power supplies are all labelled up, paired together. Like that's the PS1 Slim. So they're all in their own little drawer. So if I want to play anything, I can just grab it. And I don't like the wires everywhere. Like all these people who have everything set up ready to go. That stresses me. And like my controllers are all neatly elastic banded up, placed on top of the console sort of thing. But it's took me ages to get to be comfortable in this room, and that's kind of where I'm at. I've got my Vectrex just to the left on its own separate table sort of thing. I mean, if I had a bigger room, I'd do it better, but, you know, I'm in a 8 foot box room sort of thing.
Yeah, and that's what we're saying. Like, space is your fucking Achilles heel. You know, like, I would love to have it all, like, properly done. Put in all like you say, Kallax unit with glass doors on there. No fucking dust. I can just wipe surfaces down.
Dust still getting them fucking glass doors, I tell you now.
Is it?
Yeah. Still gets in because there's like I know, like 7 mil gap all the way around the top. It still gets in. It's not as bad as the one. See, the trouble is with games consoles, 90% of them are black. Show fucking everything. Show everything. Question from Steve for us both. Best pickup from the booter? I'll let you go first. For my own collection, it's an obvious one. It's that Buckio Air box for 25 quid.
I think recently, if it'd probably be Tombi on the PS1.
The most obscure thing I picked up was a box TRS-80 with loads of it. Like, it was like brand new. I sold it to Antarpa because it was more his thing. But to find that at a boot sale with its delivery box and everything, because I think the TRS-80s were Tandy and they were shipped in from America, weren't they?
Mm.
So that's probably my most obscure find, I'd say.
I mean, in terms of obscure non-gaming stuff, yeah, I've done all right on other things from the booter. Trust me.
Question for both. What pickup somebody else has had on another channel that has impressed you the most? See, I don't watch people's channels and get envious. See, I'm not all about the price of the game either. It's like someone could show me a really expensive game for, like, say, the Xbox, the PS2, and I'd just feel like it wouldn't interest me, even though it's a rare and expensive game, if that makes sense.
No, I disagree.
See,
no, For me, if someone says to me, I've got this game, and I went to the charity shop, I went to whatever, I want to know. I don't get why people don't say what they pay for stuff. That really grinds my fucking gears.
No, I'm not bothered how much they pay, but like if they said it was a really expensive game and it's on a system I have no interest in.
No, I love that. I love that. Because that's knowledge building. That's what I'm saying to you. It's when people sort of say, "Oh, I got this game and I got it for a good price," from like fucking Joe Bloggs' fucking video game store. That's no fucking use to no fucking man. You could have played over eBay prices. What use is that? It's shite. Because when people do that, it means that they're fucked up. That's how I look at it. They know that they've been done over. Now, if I've been done over, I'll go, fucking fucked up here, lads. And I've said, I must have said it on videos anyway. I paid over the odds or whatever, but I don't mind because I wanted the game. Everyone says that, right? There's that knee-jerk reaction where there's something there, and you think, I've been looking for that game for fucking ages. It's there, bollocks to it. I'm going to buy it, and then you go back. It usually happens at events, and that's why I love events. We all sit around at the table, supping beers. We all get out. Well, what do you get? And someone's always got a bargain. I remember Dow one year at Blackpool. I'm sure it's Blackpool, and he got some. I'm sure it's Sin and Punishment. He got some N64 games from bloody. I'm going to say Sore Thumbs, not Sore Thumbs. The guy who runs Console Passion. And it was like, fucking hell. But and I think what had happened they'd been on there that long, they hadn't updated the prices, and obviously the prices have gone up on eBay, but they hadn't adjusted their prices. And it's stuff like that. That's what I'd like to see. When these fuckers come on, they go, "Oh yeah, I got this game and I got it for a good price." What? What does that mean? Doesn't mean anything. Good price for who? To who? What?
The best pickup I ever said, and I don't even know how long it's going back, and it's a classic, is that. Do you remember when Kevin Wolford got that fucking NES with a load of games for next year? That's a classic, and that was something like that. I saw that and I thought, fuck me, I'd love to find that at the booter. That's probably the one that's like, because I watch shitloads of people and I normally watch it for their stories and that, and I don't remember every game. Like, I'm definitely not envious of fucking Al picking up Dora the Explorer on the fucking GameCube. He can keep that shit for me.
But if you're talking about pound for penny, it's Lewis Wishwash.
Oh, God.
The game
Gun Club
on the PS2.
I've got a fucking. Remember the picture of that? And fucking Chris Richardson's in the background trying to photobomb, and it's like fucking hilarious because Lewis is sitting there with the game. He's just got next to nothing off the fucker.
But yeah, like I say, each to their own. Look, but don't say you got a good deal and then not say what you paid, because you just look like a cunt. Sorry, you do. You look like stupid. I always say what I pay for stuff, unless it's from other people
within the community. Yeah. Deals.
That's by the by. That's different.
Yeah. If you've done a deal with another tuber or even someone who, just from the Facebook groups and stuff like that, that's a deal between two people that don't really need discussing in public. A question from Rob, Gernaldino play. Who's your favourite and least favourite gaming character? I can name my least favourite gaming character. Well, I can't name them, but anyone involved in the Final Fantasy fucking franchise, I couldn't give a fuck about any of them.
Oh.
And my favourite's Alex Kidd.
Who do I like?
Dizzy the Egg?
No. Dizzy the Egg. I don't know. I don't really dislike any. gaming character. Because what that to me is saying you dislike a game. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's kind of why I picked Final Fantasy.
No, Final Fantasy, great fucking games, man.
Fucking boring.
Can't say that.
Boring as fuck.
Fuck off, Philistine.
Fucking boring as fuck. Marcus, Dad and Lads Gaming. Does Stu get the chance to game much?
No.
Can I dive in with some of my stats here? Because also when you search you up, you played quite a bit of No Man's Sky on PS4, didn't you?
I did it, yeah, in the early days, yeah.
You got an A rating on that, and the other games you played were the Uncharted ones.
Yeah, I played all them, yeah. Then I sold the PS4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you get much chance to game? Not really, do you? Because your room's not even set up properly in there.
Rooms are set up, and a lot of people are probably thinking, oh, yeah, it's locked down. Oh, I've been working. I've just been working as I would do normally. Nothing has changed for me at all. I'm not getting paid like some of the people to set my ass. And it's not. I'm working.
I'm going to ask this question from James Basabi, and then we're going back to some more of my This Is Your Life.
Oh, God.
If space, etc., was no issue and it's free, what dedicated arcade machine would you like?
See, I wouldn't want a dedicated one. And I've said this.
Well, that's not the question, Stuart.
I know it's not, but I'm going to bend it slightly. I've always said I would love an Astro City, Blast City-esque type machine, Candy Cab.
Gus Newton might be selling.
Who?
Gus Newton might be selling, I think.
Yeah, but I ain't got the space. That's what I would love. Just that, because that will play everything then. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll be happy with that. I wouldn't want a there's not one machine that I go, oh yeah, I'll play that to death. I couldn't say that because I'm not that. I was never that way in the arcades either. It was always like I played like loads of different shit.
See, I'd love one of them Lord Vale machines that Rob's got. In fact,
yeah, but that's multi. That's a multi system.
I mean. But I like the size of the cabbies more than anything. I think I could get one of them in my hallway if I took my missus round and I've got the money for one. I'm thinking out loud now, loud enough so she can hear me in the next room. So going back anyway, your most successful or most viewed video was when you hacked the NES. Did you know that you there's about 20 different websites that wrote up about you, including in French and Mexican? Mate, there's loads you put in. Let me tell you some of them. There's www.trustreviews.com, www.goliath.com, www.latinpost.com, and itechpost.com are just a few that have all featured you that TootyUK discovered that you could hack the NES. So that's probably why that video has done so well, because it's linked in every single one of these articles. It's amazing what a simple search on YouTube can find on Google can find out for you.
Frightening.
You know what? You ought to go through and see what people have written up about it. It might just be that it's one generic journalist that writes for several different websites.
Probably, yeah. I'm not that interested.
Also, we got Games Room tours back in 2013 and 2014. I couldn't find any more Games Room tours after that. Will there be one in the future?
Oh no, no. Because it got to the point where it was like it's going to get knocked down, and I was like, it's not going to get knocked down, and it's going to get knocked down. And then everything got moved out. So this room here, from what you can sort of see, this Kallax here, they're all bookcases full of games. There's no consoles. There's no box consoles. They're all in the garage and they're all under the stairs. So even if I did a game room, it'd just be the games, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
and they're all double stacked. They're all like literally like rammed in. I don't think it's very conducive for a very interesting games room, if that makes sense. I don't know. I see other people's stuff and I think, no. I'm like, no, I can't compete with that.
See, when I shot mine, I did it in that, not like an artsy style, but I don't really want to talk. I don't like going through what game, like I don't like the videos going, I've got this game, this game. I understand why you do it because you're logging the collection for your own memory rather than showing the collection.
It's not game room videos.
No, I know, but I'm just on about my games room tour. So that's why I tried to feature everything, so I don't ever have to fuck it. If like people want to see what they got, they can pause the video. But I couldn't stand here and talk about here's my NES stuff, here's my SNES stuff on my shelf, sort of thing, because it's just games stacked up to me, if you know what I mean. It's like a library, I guess. So moving on, I'm going to mention a couple of videos and see if you can remember them. So what was your Holy Grail pickup that you had? Remember your Holy Grail?
That's a Duo R. That's PC Engine Duo R.
Yep.
Oh, hands down. The best thing I've ever bought. Honestly, the best thing.
I bet they've skyrocketed since you got that as well, ain't they?
Yeah, I think they're pretty stable.
Am they?
Yeah. I think about two.
That one's nice you've got, though. It's nice. Very, very nice condition it was. It weren't no yellowing or anything because it's obviously the white system. Yeah.
Again, I think we all have this assumption for Japanese sellers that everything's mint, whatever. But some Japanese sellers go out the way to make them mint, if that makes sense. So,
yeah,
the guy bought this like Jujin, which I've been on a few Facebook groups now for a while. He was one of the early ones, and a lot of people sort of slated him for his early work, as in the quality of it. But my machine's fine, you know. And again, there's probably a lot of YouTube, there's a lot of angst and a lot of like, yeah. But I'm sure he retro-brighted it as well. So, you know, the whole Japanese perfect thing is probably not as perfect as everyone likes to think. Maybe.
I tend to go for James because I know how much of a finicky eye he's got. So if you want to get some, if it's something that I want, like when I was buying the bundles of just games to play on the Famicom, I wasn't that bothered. But certain games I was after specifically, I'd get in touch with James for, if you know what I mean. Because I was.
Yeah, but I bet if you ask James, are all the Japanese games lovely in boxes? And they're not, because he's even said the actual Famicom disc systems, you don't see the out of plastic box.
I'm looking for mine now. There it is, isn't it? I've got one, the Twin B in the plastic box thing.
That's what I mean. So if the Japanese, as we're led to believe, are so like pinicky and so,
I reckon you could get some of these.
All these Famicom disc systems would be in them plastic box, and they're not.
I reckon you could get some of these from somewhere. I reckon there was a generic disc set released with like 5 floppies in that these would fit in anyway.
Maybe.
Your £5 faulty 32X. Do you remember that video?
Oh, that was Blackpool. Told you. Early Blackpool. It was absolute, and that was a brilliant one because what he'd done, he'd plugged the 32X into a modded Mega Drive, and he flicked his 60 hertz. It didn't work because obviously the 32X needs to be modded as well. And it's like, oh, that's what I'm saying. It was glorious days.
Fucking hell, is this a first? TootyUK smiling and happy, reminiscing about his old videos.
I'm pissed.
fair enough. Also, you did a competition, and was it one of your daughters who drew out the prize winner? I remember I saw those videos.
Yeah.
Are your children not going to star in any future videos or ever again?
All that shit now. Okay.
So you piss off, Dad.
Yeah.
Let me just go through my other notes. Arcade Club, you first did a video of going to there on the 31st of October, Halloween 2015. So was that the first time you ever went?
Not sure. Could be. Maybe not. I don't know.
And obviously, the other ones are you went to Leeds in 2016.
If I videoed Arcade Club, if it was videoed, then yes. After that, then no, because I would have given up.
Did you mainly just do the first time you were at any event and then that was it?
This is the thing, like when you've done it that many times, it's not that the sheen wears off, but the impetus to sort of like the magic or whatever, and it's more about the people. I've always said this about any event. It's less about where it is and what it is. It's about the people. And so I end up just like fucking talking to people for most of the time. I don't fucking do anything. I don't play any fucking games. You know, Revival, the last Revival, I think, you know, I hardly drank anything. And then, like, just speaking to people. And that's how it is sometimes. I don't know.
Good,
huh?
That's good, though. It's...
Yeah, it is. And I think what you got to do sometimes, you have to make it. It has to be for what you want to be. There's no fucking like template. There's no like you have to do this. You have to accomplish. There's no tick list. It is what you make it. You know.
And finally, the last bit of notes. 2015, you were the host of YouTuber of the Month. Just talk us through that period. Did you enjoy doing it? What advice would you give to Scott if he's watching or watching this back, etc., etc.?
Okay, so people know I've had like mixed feelings with YouTube of the Month for like the last year. I don't agree with what certain individuals did. More so the last one, less so the previous one, which was like Do You Nerd? Yeah. They made some changes which I was like, eh. But they weren't overtly like anti like what I would class as the principles of YouTube of the Month. The other pair clowns that took over, they just took the piss. I'm sorry. I've done a video on it. They were underhanded. They were conniving. They were like fucking deceiving. They did it for reasons to just to build them. And it's worked, to be honest, from what I could see. I don't follow the guys, but clearly it's worked. They use that as a platform to launch themselves, which is not what YouTube was ever about. It absolutely the complete opposite.
So what, when you were host, like, you know, what was your idea going into it? How did you feel about doing it, etc.? Like, you know,
so my view of it was look, I know I didn't win.
Yeah, Bithead won, didn't he? Bithead won.
Bithead won because I nominated Bithead. So I'm the creator of my own downfall, if I want to. But I didn't give us two shits. It was not about that. It's about exposure. It's about, and back then, as bizarre as it sounds, Bithead was about. I think there was no. I don't think there was any like limit. And I think it might have been about 3,000 subs. I think. And I was like, this guy's amazing. And even back then, I said, this guy's amazing. So I've been watching for years. And I sort of formed, and I still speak to guys now. Ryan right now, Mike Skankmaster, Ed T1118. And I'm actually still speak to Ed on Facebook. And they, for me, that was like the normal American people. I know it sounds daft because I always think of YouTube and American people. American YouTube people are just fake as fuck. I mean, you know, but these guys were legit. They were just like normal fucking.
I think with the American channels, you've either got TV presenters or guy in his shed. There's no in between.
Yeah.
You've got
mate,
your hairy guy sat in his front room, or you've got I want to be on fucking cable network TV. That's my opinion.
Maybe, yeah. But the guys' early days, literally, it was just guys making videos about video games that they enjoyed. And they're not making videos anymore. I haven't deleted them. I did a massive cult. So, not that anyone's fucking watching this anyway. But I must have like gone through my whole sub thing, and I got rid of like about 400 people that I was sub to because they hadn't made anything in about 6 years. 6 years. That's how long. That's But there's one guy. I'm sure they're called the video game hunters or the retro game hunters, and I think that's where the Game Chasers ripped them off. And I remember I watched them literally early doors, and it's stuff like that. So, for me, it's always about just real people, not the sort of fanfare and the shit that people chuck around it. Doesn't interest me. It's probably why I like Jesse a little bit in what he does, his initial spiel, but I don't like the crap afterwards. I don't know.
We've had a few questions. I'm going to skip to the most recent ones. Question for both. Given the t-shirts being worn tonight, favorite Atari. Okay, I'm going to fucking yours.
Yeah, you have you worn that t-shirt?
My favorite is Yar's Revenge. I do like Centipede. But I have picked up a game that I'm going to feature in my next Pickles video that I've always wanted to play. But if I show you now, no one watches my fucking pickups anyway. But I'll let you answer, Stu.
No, mine was the second one you mentioned, Centipede.
Centipede. I think it's great on the 26th.
Yeah. I said this to Alex. I said when he did his arcade review, I said I always loved a Centipede on the 2600. Because let's be honest, the 2600 ain't great for most things. It worked, especially with the paddle.
Yeah, it seemed quite quick, didn't it, Centipede, for a 2600 game? Stu, remember my twin Famicom? That was beautiful, wasn't it? We both own twin Famicoms now, Stu.
Raz had a red one, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah.
You know what? That one I sold you is the turbo one. That's there's a guy selling them. I did you a good price on that. I thought I did.
It's done now, Dane.
No, mate. I'm honestly because I had the fucking.
I am gonna get it modded. It's one of my goals for this year to get it modded.
I had the guy's pants down who sold it. Really, the other one that I had, so I'm not too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he did all right. Yeah.
When I looked it up in his house as well, fucking hell. To Stu, would you consider something like the Polymega? Now, that's the system that will play any disc game, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
Not even.
No, it's got the bollocks, isn't it?
The only reason I could think one of them is useful is for mass testing. For me,
It's not. Is it even released now?
No, it's not out yet.
It's vaporware. It's bullshit. That fucking Polymega bullshit. That's that multi-sectional thing. It costs about £400 per fucking thing. It ain't gonna fucking bollocks. It ain't gonna happen. Trust me, it ain't gonna happen.
Question to both: what are your views on emulation ROMs rather than original software and hardware? I will always use original software and hardware as and where I can. Obviously, like. We both got coin ops. That's emulation in it. It's not ideal to have every single arcade cab in my house. So, in that sort of respect,
no, I've got no problem with emulation in the right form.
I mean, if you're emulating Sonic 1 on something shit, there's something wrong with you.
Well, look. So. What are you emulating it for? If you're look, we're in a forum that's basically retro collectors, retro people, I suppose. So if you're coming here saying I'm emulating everything, then maybe we're not the right forum for you. If that makes sense. So I collect games. If I was just going to emulate them, then the room would be empty, wouldn't it? It'd be like a couple of little SD cards. And then where's the fun in that? I don't know. I kind of get the emulation side of it, but like I mentioned to you, Dane, Ant Harper did a video on the Dreamcast GMGU.
That's Ant Harper who was on last week. Retro Games Collector. Check this video out. Stu's going to talk about now.
Yeah. And that looks brilliant. I'd get that, right? But I wouldn't make that like this is my collection video of like drink. What I mean, I probably wouldn't even talk about. I might sort of say, "This is what I've got and this is what I've done," and that's it. I wouldn't make a song and dance, but I don't know. It's weird. Emulation divides different people, and I'm not sort of saying people that emulate aren't real gamers or that's not what I'm saying. It's not what I'm saying. But you have people that collect stuff and who are collectors, and there's people that are gamers that game. That's, you know, and I don't know. I'm more a collector.
There was a question from Pete I'm trying to find. He keeps asking questions. I was going to... Here we go. He's been asking controversial questions all night. I'll let him have one. Question for TootyUK. Has Bithead got better or worse? Or stayed the same?
Good question, Pete. Good. I think it's 50-50, man. Like I said, Pete, I watch the first 20 minutes, whatever it might be, spiel. When it goes picture, that's it. I'm done. I have no interest in that.
No full watch.
Huh?
No full watch from TootyUK. No FW.
So they're called FW. I don't know. No, but I don't. That's it. I'm done. Depending on what it is, it might be something that might interest me, but normally that's it. I'm done. After picture, that's it. I'm done. I don't want to watch gameplay. Why? There's very few people that do good gameplay videos, and even then, I probably wouldn't watch them. I don't see the point of wasting my time watching someone play. The only person I get, and again, I've mentioned it before, the only gameplay video I've ever watched from start to beginning is fucking Betty Ord, Bill, which is like Last of Us 2. Because I didn't want to buy it because I didn't have a PS4. So I wanted to see what the game was like. That's all it was. It was literally just watching a movie. That's it.
Lee needs his tongue removing from your arse. If it wasn't for Tooty, a lot of us wouldn't even be on tube. So thank you, Stuart. Vote.
Oh, get out of town, you would.
Vote Roller X Core YouTuber of the month over on Get your votes in.
Lee, you'd all be here. Look, listen, the fucking wheel don't stop spinning, bruv.
I've got one last question because we're approaching the 2-hour mark. We'll go into a little bit of overtime. And it's the last question that's going to be asked tonight, so don't bother putting it in the comments and giving me shit. You mentioned YouTube retirement in your last video. It was a joke, right? You're not going to retire, are you?
It was basically like me questioning a purpose, like, what am I doing it for? Yeah, and look, I ain't doing it for, like, if I was doing it for money, it'd be like, oh, how much money am I making? Oh, it's not worth me fucking putting 50 hours. It wasn't about that. It was basically me sort of saying, like, in terms of what am I getting out of it? What's my reason for doing it? And I think a lot of it was to do with the current situation. I'm not like fucking saying, oh, I'm depressed and I'm down in the dumps. I think a lot of people are feeling that way. Look, yeah, we're all sort of blokes and whatever, young lads and maybe some girls. I don't think girls are watching it, but at some point you're going to get that dip where you just think, what's going on? There's nothing on the horizon. There's nothing to look forward to. And I think it's a normal reaction to sort of say, look, fucking hell, I'm struggling here. And it wasn't to sort of say, like, I'm struggling like in who I am, but I'm struggling like in terms of like I don't see a way forward. I can't see anything going forward, and that's what put me into that sort of like state where it's like, well, what, you know, a lot of us, like, we work all year and we have a summer holiday. We work all year, blah blah blah. For a lot of us, like me, you, Dane, and stuff like that, we have like little.
I am Dane.
Yeah, I'm sort of saying, but we have points in the year where we can sort of say, yeah, we're going to go, we're going to do this event, we're going to do that event, and it gives us a little goals to sort of get to. And I think,
or we can do like we did with Leeds. We could just decide one Saturday, let's fucking go on the Friday night sort of thing.
Well, maybe, but you can't do that now.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I mean.
And without that, I think I think if we were all honest with each other, we're all fucking struggling. We're all struggling to a certain degree. Yeah, we're all getting by. We're all getting by. We're not fucking falling to pieces, but we're all fucking, yeah, we want stuff back to normal, I suppose.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm just trying to make the most of it. I'll go to work every day. The one good thing for me is I was getting more free time anyway, because obviously my second job I no longer do, which I didn't need to fucking do anyway, really. So I've got more free time than ever. So I'm filling it with doing this, playing video games. But like you, I want to go to an event. I want to go and have a beer with my mate who only moved to Worcester. I mean, I feel sorry for my mate. He moved to Worcester, then we get locked down, so he can't even visit his mates who are a fucking hour away, and he's driving him mad. Yeah. So he's finding plastering jobs for me to go down to his house.
So, like, was me retiring from YouTube a joke? No, it wasn't a joke. It wasn't a joke. It was me basically venting a frustration and questioning, like, well, if nothing's going to change in the future, then what's the fucking point of it all anyway? Because I ain't going to start making fucking topper videos. I'm not going to start making fucking the best history of and all that kind of shit, because that's not what I'm about. Because that would just be fake. It'd just be like, that's not YouTube, is it? It's just fucking documentary tube.
All I'll say is when the booters start up, some people who have sorted some good shit out to sell the first weeks are going to be immense.
Man, maybe. I think it's already sold, mate. It'd all be, they'd already got rid of it on like marketplace and stuff like that.
Yeah, Liam's bought it all. So anyway, Stu, we've gone just over the 2 hours. Thank you very much for giving up time. I know,
see you later, bye.
No, we don't do that. I know you're very much reluctant to come on streams, but I do bend your ear to come on here. So thank you very much from me personally.
I'm not reluctant. I just don't see the point in me splattering me fucking ugly mug across everything. I don't.
You make me look better, if that's any consolation. But I'm just going to finish with a message from you to everyone who's watched you over the last 10 years, whether they're watching this live or watching it back. Just a message from you to them.
Don't fuck with Buffalo Bill.
Is Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs? Or Green Mile? Or both?
Look after yourselves. Look after each other. Don't listen to the No, just get on with it. Let's get back to normal.
Thanks, Stu. Anyway, thank you from me. I'm going to drop you backstage, do my little sign out, and I'll speak to you in a bit. Thank you. Right. A little bit different tonight. We've talked a lot about YouTube, obviously gone through Stu's journey. Hopefully it's jogged some pleasant memories in his mind and given him spur to carry on. Next Friday, we're back on Friday. LKG, if you've got a stream next Friday, tough shit. I'm going back to my time. That suits me. Guests confirmed for next week. Hopefully, guests confirmed for the week after. We might have 3 guests on the week after. And I'll just keep doing these until they tell us either I'm fucking bored of doing them or lockdown's over. So just 2 other things. Swap Shop's back on this Sunday. Go and watch that. And of course, Retro Chef, he's the host of that. We don't want him to win YouTuber of the Month. So if you could go and vote Roller X Core YouTuber of the Month over on Sega Zombies channel, that would be great. And I'll see you all on the next one. Good night.